1. 49 BC Julius Caesar crossed the Rubicon and declared the dice was thrown, marking the beginning of the Roman Civil War. In 49 BC, a milestone moment comes that marked Roman history. Julius Caesar, he led his army across the small Rubicon River. Any act of crossing the river was considered treason by Roman law, but he risked everything. The dice are thrown. This line demonstrated his determination, and finally, the Civil War in Rome opened. This decisive moment was not just a river crossing, but a choice that shook the fate of the Roman Republic. The Civil War led to Caesar's victory and increased authoritarian power, but eventually to the fall of the Republic. His steps over the Rubicon are still remembered as a symbol that changes the course of history. 2. 9 years Wang Mang destroyed Zhou Han and established a new country. 9 years A.D. A significant event happened in Chinese history. With the fall of Han, a character named Wang Mang opens a new chapter in history. At that time, Wang Mang seized power through regency, deposed the emperor and ascended to the throne by himself. So Han was destroyed, and a new country emerged. Wang Mang carried out radical reforms, pledging to make his country the ideal society of the ancient Zhou dynasty. However, excessive change aroused people's dissatisfaction, and the ensuing chaos increased due to natural disasters and backlash. Wang Mang's new country is remembered as a period of chaos rather than innovation, and eventually disappeared into the background of history after 15 years. 3. 69 years Emperor Galba of the Roman Empire, named Lucius Calpurnius Piso Ricinianus as his successor. In 69 A.D., the Roman Empire faced a year of turmoil. The year, also known as the Year of the Four Emperors, began with Emperor Galba naming Lucius Calpurnius Piso Ricinianus as his successor. Galba chose Piso to restore order and consolidate his authority, but this decision rather prompted his downfall. Disgruntled with the nomination, the army and political forces soon revolted, resulting in an assassination of Galba and the abdication of his throne to Otto. This incident shows how unstable the position of Emperor of Rome was, and reveals the constant struggle for power in the midst of extreme political turmoil in Roman history. 4. 1072 Norman conqueror Robert Guiscard conquers Palermo. In 1072, a significant historical event took place. A powerful Norman leader, Robert Guiscard, conquered Palermo and opened a new chapter in Mediterranean history. The city of Palermo, then controlled by Islamic forces in Sicily, had value as a strategic location. Based on their excellent tactics and solidarity, Robert and his army drove out Islamic forces, occupied the city, and placed the entire region under Norman rule. This conquest resulted in the creation of a creative culture, where Norman and Islamic and Byzantine cultures were exchanged. Robert Guiscard's conquest of Palermo made him remembered as one of Europe's greatest conquerors in the Middle Ages. 5. 1776 Thomas Paine publishes Common Sense, inspiring the desire for American independence. In 1776, when the movement for American independence was in full swing, a book awakened people's consciousness. It was Thomas Paine's Common Sense. It gave Americans logical reasons for independence from Britain, and emphasized the values of freedom and equality, instead of difficult philosophical discourses. It was written in a language that everyone could easily understand, and it caused great repercussions throughout the colonies. Common Sense spread the support for independence, making even ordinary farmers and merchants agonize over it. Paine's writings inspired people to think about the birth of the Declaration of Independence. Beyond being a simple book, Common Sense became a catalyst for changing the times. 6. 1863 The world's first subway started running in London, England. In 1863, the world's first subway began operating in London, England. The subway, named the Metropolitan Railway, started its operation by connecting Paddington and Farringdon when steam locomotives were used, designed to solve London's congested streets. The revolutionary means of transportation was unfamiliar and awkward at first, but soon became a must-have for city dwellers. The idea of utilizing underground space was groundbreaking at the time and later spread around the world, opening a new paradigm of urban transportation. The London Underground in 1863, which became the starting point of the modern subway system, was a monumental moment, going beyond simple transportation to mark a turning point in civilization history. 7. 1920 The League of Nations is officially launched. and efforts to promote international peace and cooperation are initiated. In 1920, humanity overcame the wounds of war and took the first step toward peace. After World War I ended, the League of Nations UN was launched to prevent war and strengthen international cooperation. The League of Nations UN was an organization that brought together countries from all over the world to begin new attempts to resolve conflicts peacefully and discuss international issues. Although not all countries were able to participate, and there were many things that were not perfect, the creation of the UN was an important turning point that showed the possibility that humanity can cooperate to achieve peace. The creation of the UN is recorded as a moment that paved the way for today's UN and laid the foundation for modern international relations. 8. 1946, the first meeting was held at the United Nations General Assembly, and discussions on international issues began. 1946, a year after the end of World War II. Humanity that had suffered the devastation of war was creating a new order for peace. That very year, the UN General Assembly held its first meeting. It was the first step toward world peace by gathering in New York to discuss international issues. Back then, the UN was launched to prevent war, promote cooperation among countries, and protect human rights and freedoms around the world. This first meeting was a historic moment that embodied the roles and directions that the UN should play and the goals that the international community should play together. It was the beginning of the UN General Assembly in 1946, which became the basis for the international order that we now enjoy. 9. 1984, the United States and Vatican City officially established diplomatic relations. In 1984, a historically significant diplomatic event took place. It was the official establishment of diplomatic relations between the United States and Vatican City. The decision, which was made in cooperation between then President Ronald Reagan and Pope John Paul II, received much attention around the world. During the Cold War, the two strong leaders shared common values and goals confronting communism. Through this, the two countries strengthened their influence on the international stage and showed new possibilities for religious and political cooperation. This diplomatic relationship became a symbol of global importance, beyond just relations between the two countries. 10. 2007, Apple unveils the iPhone for the first time, ushering in the era of smartphones. In 2007, the world was at a new turning point with Apple's innovative products. The unveiling of the iPhone ushered in the era of smartphones. He introduced the world not just to mobile phones, but to the concept of a smartphone that combines phone, internet, and music. Intuitive touchscreens and app stores add promise and change the way people experience the world beyond simple communication devices. Many experts and consumers were surprised, which soon sparked the popularization of smartphones. It is no exaggeration to say that many of the technologies we use today started from that very beginning. Apple's announcement was a symbolic moment that went beyond simple product disclosure and revolutionized our lives and society as a whole.